Tussac planting on Motley and Middle Island has taken place over multiple years, and the results now are looking promising. Organised by Georgia Seafoods, Falklands Conservation, and helped by numerous local volunteers, the replanting involves pulling tussock from healthy areas such as Green Island and replanting them in areas where plants have either died or burnt away. In these areas, bare soil is exposed to the elements and is more susceptible to erosion.
We've been having a little look around at over the last couple of years what we've achieved. Middle Island has had its challenges with historic overgrazing and burning, and there's some really large erosion patches. It's really a race against time to be able to stop the sort of leading edge of the erosion moving further across the islands.
Tussac planting is an age-old practice in the Falkland Islands, dating back hundreds of years. Volunteer Brian Summers has many years' experience using this land restoration technique on Bleaker Island.
Planting is actually the easy bit. It's pulling these tillers out of the bogs. That's where you need a good strong guy. Certainly somebody a lot stronger than me anyway to pull these out. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it, but certainly on Bleaker we found that it's just as easy. Put a spade in, wiggle it about a bit so you've got a reasonable hole, and then tamping it down once you've got it in. I mean, there's been an awful lot planted, and I think walking through today what has been planted in the last couple of years is well over 75% success, which is very good.
Tussock grass is remarkably good at carbon capture, able to draw in large quantities of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, replacing it with oxygen. Georgia Seafoods are looking to offset the company's emissions through the planting of tussock, both on Middle and possibly elsewhere in the Falklands.
All the experts say we need to bring our emissions down now, and so although we can't bring our emissions down very much, we can possibly offset, and that might be the second best option. We've planted a good area. Now I would like to know, okay, how much more or less have we offset? And then we as a company can say, okay, we're actually committing to, maybe a longer term program or another 2 years or 3 years or whatever until the island is done. Perhaps something like that. But first we need to see a few more figures, I think.
As part of wider efforts to preserve the Falklands' pristine natural environment, the aim of conservation going forward is to keep the Falklands' native habitat stable and to remove invasive species wherever possible.
So many people come to the Falkland Islands to see the wildlife. So much of our economy depends on the wildlife here. And native wildlife is so much better dealing with climate change, native habitats, native wildlife. When we get to the end of this year and look ahead at how many more years we feel we need to do to have the impact that we're going to need to come to recovery. I mean, there's a huge amount of work needed on it. There are so many large areas, and it's sort of taking those decisions on how much time and capacity to invest in it over time. But certainly to try and stabilise these areas as much as we can.
And of course, this cannot be done without the help of local volunteers.
Everybody always comes with good cheer and lots of energy, and people appreciate this sort of stuff, and seeing what is being done, the satisfaction. That was all bare peat, and now it is sort of perhaps stabilising and hopefully coming back. You've seen some of the other areas on the other side of the island, and it looks like it's sort of like in a position to perhaps restore itself, and people take pleasure in that.